You're telling me you've been on this channel and you still don't know what OnlyFans is? Are you out of your freaking mind? I've only been talking about this for the last, since the quarantine, because I knew this was going to be a thing that would happen. When you have panic porn, where there is in the media, then you're going to have a panic audience, a panicked bunch of women and men. I can't completely take both away here, but you're going to have people that are panicking to make money. And some people get to their own idea of panic porn. Okay, there's two different kinds. The one the media gives you, oh, look, hospitals and gowns and death tolls, oh, right? And keeping you in your house, stay in your house, wait for the vaccine. Stay in your house. Don't do anything. Just stay at home. Stay there. We'll give you your shot, and then we'll control you. We'll take you all the way. Right? Bill Gates will go ahead and be your overlord. I don't know. That's just stuff you hear on TV, right? Or on the radio. Now, OnlyFans, once again, continues to be in the press because if you look for stories, it's all about it. But again, the ongoing trend of OnlyFans is a fascinating subject to me when I'm not podcasting, which is why I keep talking about it. So Bustle finally decided to get on board about this. And there's a couple of stories I'm going to talk about when it comes to OnlyFans to encompass everything. So again, one thing that's going to be interesting is how everybody interprets OnlyFans in every one of these stories. And this one, they say that subscription-based content services are becoming trendier than nut milk and facial serums. That's what's trendy to them. So again, it's a different crowd. So obviously this is based to women, and they don't know necessarily what this is all about. They might be very sanctimonious and very puritanistic, but they're going to look at this sex porn-laden thing right here that's all going around. This gyrating sex going on, sex, all this going on with OnlyFans sex. Anyway, let's talk about this. So if TikTok is an all-you-can-eat buffet, consider OnlyFans a membership-only private dining club. Now, in this, it's said to be a very powerful and useful tool for influencers and content creators because it allows people to make money from sharing their personal content. So is OnlyFans only a porn website? Well, no, it's not. But the idea is it becomes basically that. Just because Periscope wasn't meant to be like a site for porn, but you know what? You see a lot of girls at a lot of times get on there to go ahead and show themselves ready for a private Snapchat. I know because I've seen it. It's pretty funny how you just see women that are teasing themselves or allowing themselves to be naked. Okay, I'll show boobs at like 500 viewers or 1,000. And if they can get people to go into a private Snapchat, they'll do that. Or it's basically, smoke scope, right? Perismoke. Because then you'll see people that used to be always on with bongs and, joints or whatever, or dabs, and they were hitting it on the live stream, right? The site's intentional lack of content restrictions allows creators to share more graphic content, full nudes and literal porn that wouldn't be allowed on Instagram or Tumblr. Now, this is what I want to just give you the whole idea of where some people might see this. And I'll tell you, somebody that might be a precocious young woman, they might see this Bustle article and they might read this and say, man, this just sounds like kind of cool. So, here it is. So, creators can opt for viewers that have monthly subscriptions, start at $4.99, could go up to $49.99, have free pages where they charge viewers to access specific content. But, it's the idea of, it's just, oh, look, we could do something a little more raunchy, a little more naughty, right? That's the idea. So that's what they have this for. And then creators can post themselves completely naked, masturbating, or having partner sex. It's a conducive platform for adult performers, sex workers, and models to share content with their fans that will be banned on other sites. But now you're starting to see there was a idea that OnlyFans had an early reputation as a site for sex workers and adult performers. Well, OnlyFans became more popular as it became more interactive. So now let's move along out of this because there's more to the story. Because now those sex workers that were enjoying themselves on this site, well, they're starting to get kicked out, apparently. We're going to talk about that right now. This is from New York Post. And they say this is that sex workers are claiming now that they're getting kicked off the adult site as the platform began to see a surge in X-rated action amid the pandemic. And Rolling Stone then talks about this, quote, I knew something was up. And she mentions that despite emailing the service numerous times to complain, they told her page was permanently deactivated and there was nothing they could do. Her customers were being refunded. And then, contrary to the email, subscribers claim they yet to see their money back. So let's go into the story itself. Rolling Stone says sex workers built OnlyFans. Now they're getting kicked off. So again, the idea is Ali Awesome, as we mentioned. She has been on since 2016, since the inception. And she goes on. She says that Awesome emailed customer support only to be told her account had been activated due to evidence of a chargeback. Now, she says something was weird here, and she kept emailing them, telling them it was permanently deactivated, there was nothing they could do, and my customers were being refunded, which would have taken funds directly out of her balance, though her customers said they were not ultimately refunded. Not sure what they're going to think about this here, but she then emailed the Adult Perform Actors Guild president, Alana Evans, and tweeted her about the incident. So the sex workers are now fighting back. That's good. A few days later, she received a message saying that her account had been reinstated and the issue had been a glitch in the system. But by then, she received dozens of messages from other adult performers saying similar things had happened to their OnlyFans accounts. Watch out. So now, she said, Amberly Rothfield, an adult marketing educator consultant, said, quote, it has appealed to sex workers as a better mousetrap than that of building your own website, finding a biller, doing the admin work, and producing the content. It's also lowered the bar for sex workers to be able to profitably get into the game. She's hard-pressed to find an adult model who isn't using it anymore. It's the place to go. And again, we talked about the increase of users, the increase of subscribers, Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion's Savage remix, naming it straight up. So you're getting this right now. And here's what the crux of the story is according to Rolling Stone. The influx of so-called civilians has prompted concern among many sex workers who've long relied on the platform as a source of income and are worried about the oversaturation of the market. The top content creators, quote, are no longer sex workers but celebrities and YouTubers, which is completely changing. And TikTok's going to go through the same thing. Just watch out for that. That's what always happens. You get something that's grassroots and fun and interesting and just Wild West, and then the corporate or this establishment type of thing comes into play and just changes things up. Now, that's really interesting where, again, it's not just amateurs. It's these influencers going on here, finding this as a place to go because there's a lot of traffic to it. And it's a crowdfunding site, in all essence, with a lot of freedom, a lot of frivolity, whatever you want to go and do on here. So more people are into the vanilla lifestyle, think it's easy to make money on here, but it could have an impact on our ability to make a living. So again, you know, you're going to see new different faces and bodies and all, but they're not going to do all the stuff that the sex workers can do. So if there's an oversaturation of those sanctimonious vanilla amateur types, when some people are going to go on there for the pros, then they might get oversaturated when they go to the site to go find their choice of female. If they want to look at other people, they're going to just see, they're going to feel like they're going to get screwed because some guys will go to OnlyFans to find sex, to find porn. And if you're not giving that right kind of porn, then they're going to assume, well, they're just putting on amateurs now and they're going to get screwed to their money, because then you're also making sure that, because OnlyFans only gives you so much. You can't see any content unless you follow somebody on one of these models or influencers online. And maybe you get something other content that's a tease or a preview. So you'll find out if it's any good or not. If not, you're going to then have to go ahead and put the subscription in, see what you get, and you'll probably get disappointed. Because without any proper idea of who the person is and what they'll do for you, even if you can ask them for customs, they can refuse. They're not obligated to do anything more than what they're going to do on the site. It's up to them as to what content they want to provide as for what they're going to get in return. And some of these women and men are going to probably think that their celebrity status is going to charge them, be able to allow them to charge more money when it's not the case. So there are instances where content creators have been booted from the platform for actually violating terms of service. And now we're getting censorship. So the platform strictly prohibits models using it for escorting, and that some of the creators who've lost their accounts were discovered to have breached this guideline. The reality of the situation is SESTA and FOSTA, two different regulations, makes it a very serious crime for the owners of OnlyFans to be involved with any important performers using their accounts accept funds for their escorting work. But this constitutes only a small percentage of the more than 100 performers she estimates have approached her within the past year after losing their accounts. The problem is that when other performers complain about those accounts, they're not taken seriously. Because they're sex workers. That's why. And then Rolling Stone spoke with a half dozen sex workers who said their accounts have been deactivated or deleted for violating OnlyFans user guidelines. And one of them was Relly Boo, said she noticed something was wrong when she discovered that money had been disappearing from her account. Then she was unable to log in, and she received a message saying her account had been deleted for suspected fraudulent activity. Quote, I never did anything wrong. Never talked about my Snapchat, doing meetups, or other restricted stuff, end quote. And then asking OnlyFans why her account had been deleted, she said the platform did not respond. After all this, she lost $1,200 in the balance of her account, and she hasn't been able to recover it. And there are more stories like this in the story, but this is a big problem. And then the idea is that OnlyFans is going to start turning away from what it's supposed to be. I mean, you got to just understand this. For those that were coming to this site, again, I implore, if you're going to go into this for amateur work and you're going to try to make some extra money, know what this is. It's still going to be a sex site first and foremost. But then here, some people are getting the assumption, oh, well, we can just change it to whatever we want because we're going to go on here. So one of the contestants from The Bachelor decided to get on here, and she's saying that the surprising reason why so many people prefer watching Z-listers on OnlyFans over standard porn. So in her podcast called Life Uncut, Laura Byrne suggested one of the reasons some may gravitate towards paying to access on OnlyFans as opposed to watching standard porn. She says that OnlyFans could give some connection and companionship that porn may not. This is Laura Byrne, by the way. Now, moving along, she says, she suggested that what makes the website appealing perhaps is the ability to give an insight into someone's life. So people are doing this for other reasons, right? She says, what kind of change from the normal porn industry was you were in tap and watch porn and then bat off and go to bed, is that being a part of the OnlyFans gives you this real insight into someone's life. Now, I'm guessing the ones that are sex workers probably don't give you that much into their life. It's just more of you're coming here to what you want and you're subscribing to it, so we're going to give you this. So maybe they're just playing up to the simps. Which, I mean, the sex workers can be doing the same thing, but at least they're professionals. They say, okay, listen, you're going to get what you pay for. But these others, they're not going to do that. They're only concerned about what they are getting from what you're paying them. So it's always the other way around. It's like a sugar daddy syndrome. It's always like that. Okay. It gives you this connection, quote, and it gives you this companionship that I don't think porn gives to someone. She's probably not wrong, but again, this is what you have. So she says that there's been a push towards OnlyFans, and why it's such a huge uptake is because you almost get this boyfriend-girlfriend experience from it. Quote, you really have access to these people who you feel like you already know. Then she also referenced Love Island star Vanessa Sierra and her YouTuber boyfriend Luke Irwin being on OnlyFans. They perform raunchy pranks together and share exclusive content. We've shown these two before. And that's what's going on. Then you have other celebrities that now use the app. You have Love Island Australia's Eden Mackney, model Billy Beaver, married to First Sight's Rice Power, and world's hottest grandma, Gina Stewart. So here's Eden Mackney, if you want to go and take a look at who that is. And that's the idea. So you're seeing these stories, and this is what's going on here. It's like, it's an interesting deal that's going on. And then another person comes on and talks about OnlyFans. This is a model from Australia that talks about it. This is Allison Parker. She says that there's nothing glamorous about the platform and says that fans are so obsessed with her that they have proposed while others have made twisted sexual requests. Yeah, the thing is, if you're going to OnlyFans, you're going to get subscribers. Again, you're going to get people that expect professional sex workers to play up fantasies. And if you're not doing that, and these people are going to go on here and start spending money, then first of all, you're going to screw with the people that were there for an intentional purpose. Some are going to go on there, like I said, that are going to be, they're looking for companionship. There might be some simps are going to be brought to the site. But there are people that are going to OnlyFans for a particular reason, for sex. Sex. That's what I'm saying. She has almost 8 million followers on Instagram, and she says, the weirdest thing I've gotten is, may I purchase a Tupperware of one of your large bowel movements? I'll tell you how to legally package it. She's charging $15 a month for access to her OnlyFans account, and she revealed that she lost up to $1.5 million from people stealing her content. But she's a good-looking girl, no doubt about it. But again, you're You don't realize what you're here for. If you're going to go on here as an influencer, that's fine. But you think you're going to go on here thinking that you're just going to just have the normal of the go. It's just another place to see. Look at my body. Look at me. Look at me. I'm sexy. Right? No. What else can we see underneath the cute clothes? We see you all dolled up. Now the people want to see you strip. If you're not going to do that, then how are you charging $15 a month? She's charging it because she's putting a value on herself, and that's fine. But you do realize that when you do that, you're going to make a point how some of the people are going to go on there. They think, well, this gorgeous girl she's going to strip and she's going to do stuff on camera. Well, no, she's not. She's just putting a tag to herself because she feels like she can. And good for her if she wants to do it. But again, if people are going to steal her content, they might do it out of spite. Who knows what they might do it for? But that's what it comes down to. She says her photos have been posted on third-party websites without her consent and used for catfish scams. Well, that's the other thing, too. You're doing it on OnlyFans, and you think you're going to have your stuff that's going to be protected. Well, no. So now she reportedly earns a 7-figure salary making explicit content for OnlyFans and Snapchat Premium. That's Billy Beaver. I showed you that TikTok video a few weeks ago when she got upset because now, she has subscriptions for a month and then they dropped off, and now she can't pay for her rent and pay for taking care of her kids. Things like that. And that's where we are. These are the things that are going on. It's the up and down scenario of OnlyFans that continues, that you're getting influencers on here that are trying to find ways to make money and keep the attention on them and forcing a price for that attention, which used to be free on Instagram or Snapchat or other places, but putting a price on it. And there's a difference between putting a price on just your beauty and maybe some kind of celebrity status that you might have, as opposed to the sex workers that will do what's being asked of them because they want that money. And that's the idea of everything else.